they've taken on two things that they didn't have to with these four nominees. Okay. Again, I'm talking about defense, homeland security, national intelligence, and justice. One is they have to devote bandwidth to this now. They have to devote bandwidth to getting them confirmed, and that's pretty high level bandwidth, right? And two, the morale at these four departments is going to be miserable. Now, that's going to be true no matter what, and I know in MAGA world they welcome that, but it's particularly bad. It's going to be particularly bad with these four nominees. It's not there. You're not going to see that with some of the other nominees. It's not going to be as bad. I'm not saying that they don't welcome it because they do, but it is more. They're taking on more work and more problems. So are they doing those two things knowingly, or they don't think this is a problem at all, or
No,
is
I
it a
think
problem
they
they're
probably
willing to take on?
they probably think the latter is a bonus. If you want to resign from the Department of Justice or the Department of Defense because you're worried that there's going to be change coming your way, then I think we look at that as a bonus. Great, get
I,
out of the
I,
way.
right, but the remaining people are going to be. I get it. I'm not trying to defend the status quo or say MAGA doesn't want to change, but it is a problem to manage a million employees who have bad morale. That's just a problem.
But I would argue that um, there are plenty of folks that are going to be excited about change and reforms and effectiveness. So yeah, I would say this is an opportunity to weed out the bad folks
All right, what
who.
about what? Okay, what about the bandwidth of
Oh yeah,
having to get
so
these?
look, this is going to be really interesting because this goes back. So in 2016, what we did is we had literally war rooms in the transition, and we had a team assigned to every nominee, and they would murder board the nomination process and the hearings with the nominee, and like it was brutal. And there were times where the nominees for specific offices literally just said, I just we got to take a break." Like
Okay,
we
but how,
we
but how about but how
but the
about
reason I say that is the bandwidth is like Jeff Sessions said, "I'm not playing your game. I'm going to go. I've been in the Senate. I'm not going to do this." Right? He said, "I'm not doing it."
yeah.
And if a couple of these guys from a bandwidth standpoint said, "Hey, I'm not going through this," or then it reduces bandwidth and staff. But it'll be interesting to see how they play the game. Or to your point earlier, just Matt Gaetz say, "I'm not going to do these customary courtesy calls where I go visit the members of the committee of jurisdiction." So that just bought me some more time and saved some staff.
Yeah.
There's what
Okay,
they call a
but
Sherpa
why not?
assigned to everyone.
Right.
You know,
But
your
but
bandwidth
why
goes
not
down
call?
when you don't play by the rules.
I understand. But I'm talking less bandwidth and more political capital. Why not call the ranking member in the chair and say, "Hey, we're nominating Matt Gaetz." Why not do that?
Because he doesn't
Is that it's
care. I mean,
well, but
at it,
but it makes
but
it less but it makes it less likely he's confirmed.
I don't think. See, I get it, but I also believe that the more that Donald Trump flexes and said, "I'd like this," and they're going to say, "Well, Mr. President, I don't think that's a good idea." Da, da, da. If he just jams it through and says, "I dare you," then
Yeah. All right.
that's his style.